Hello? Can you see me? Oh God. Can you see anything? I don't know what you can see, but I hope you can see a lot of things. Because I would hate to have to redo this video. I really would. So this is my altar. It's clean and it's pretty. And if you don't like clean and pretty things, then get off of my channel. Like, it's really that simple. Like, just leave, okay? Like, just go away. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look, I have a gold candle and we're gonna do things with it later. Not those kind of things, but if you stick around for the after party, then maybe we'll do those types of things with the gold candle, okay? So, here's what we're gonna do tonight. I'm gonna talk to you about why I don't work with Lucifer. And I grew this. Okay, look. I hope you can see these. Oh my God, they actually they smell like chocolate mint. I don't know how to dry herbs, okay? I tie them up and I hang them upside down and I hang them wherever the hell I please. And they just dry out. But people say there's a certain way to dry them so that you retain the smell and the flavor. But to me, these still smell like chocolate mint. I have another one of these little bushels. I grew so much chocolate mint. This looked like it was a lot more before it dried out because now it looks like I didn't grow anything. So I'm going to make incense and talk to you about Lucifer. And why I don't work with him. I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to. I love, oh my God, crushing this. Oh my God, that smells amazing. Okay. If you have the opportunity, you need to get your hands on some chocolate mint. It smells amazing, okay? And now when I'm making an incense using this type of stuff, I crush everything, like stem and all. Fire safety, right? Anywho, one of the reasons that I don't work with Lucifer is because he's just this over talked about entity. Everybody in the occult world has a story about Lucifer or working with Lucifer or contacting or some of their friend or whatever the case is. It's too much. It's too much fluff, okay? Some entities just come with way too much fluff. Like, you just don't know what's real and what's fake and what's not and all of this other stuff. So what I have found that works the best for figuring out what's real and what's fake when it comes to working with demonic entities is to blatantly ask them. And it is hilarious the amount of times these particular entities will be like, that's not true. That's not true. And that's not true, right? I'm sure you've had it where Hecate has been like, wait, this has been grossly exaggerated about me. Or the Morrigan was like, oh yeah, that's what everybody says about me. None of it's true, right? Like, don't sit there and tell me that the texts and the books and the lore and the mythology is all 110%, right? Like, no. I mean, it might get really close on the nose, but it's not going to be 100% accurate because those particular people that are writing about that god or goddess or entity were not there at the time that they're writing about these things. And a lot of the information that you're reading about on these types of entities, be they demons, be they gods or goddesses, spirits or whatever, is generally just regurgitated garbage from some other person who regurgitated it from some other person who regurgitated it from some other person. And this cycle just keeps going until we get to the original text that contained the information, and even then it was badly translated. And even then the text was probably wrong to begin with. Now, I'm not saying that of everything, so you just need to calm down before you start assuming things. I've had a lot of new subscribers join lately, and I love you. I really do. I love all of you. You make my insides, right? Like, you make my insides happy, and just all of this type of anticipation for inside happiness. However, some of you have these bizarre questions. Like, the books don't say that about the Morrigan, or I don't know where you're getting your information on demons, but it's all wrong. You need to read the following. I'm sorry, are you on drugs? Because whatever drugs you're on, I would clearly like to be a part of. I would like to have some involvement in the doing of them. Because to be honest with you, I have said this time and time again, and I will continue to say it time and time again, okay? It's about the relationship that you build with the entity and the information that they tell you about themselves. Everybody's relationship is different, obviously. And I know that there's some of you out there who like to argue with me in the comment section about how, and these comments tend to turn nasty and get deleted from my channel because you don't know etiquette, okay? You don't. Where was I going with this? It's late and I'm rambling. Oh, it's about the relationships that you're building. However, what the core argument is in the comment section sometimes seems to be is, well, yeah, it's about the relationship that you're building, but the person is the same across. No, they're not. I mean, the friend that you have, like, if you were to interact with your friend, right, you see that side of your friend, and then you be a fly on the wall when they're interacting with their other friends, and they're sometimes a completely different person. No, my friends are all, like, I don't care about you and your friends. The point that I was trying to make is that no one was there when the Morrigan did X, Y, or Z. So no one really knows if it's myth or if it's real. And that's what I was also getting at with the demons, is that there's a lot of misinformation about demons and working with demons and all of that fun stuff. And that's mostly spread by Christians. I love you, I really do. But sometimes you make me just want to rip out my spleen and eat it with my bare hands and just eat it raw. Like, we're not even gonna cook a spleen. We're not gonna have spleen soup or spleen steak. We're just gonna rip it out of our body and we're just gonna eat it. And for those of you who don't have a spleen because for some reason you've had it removed, well, are you even human anymore? The problem that I have with this altar is that it is a glass table. And I need to crush. Anyways. So yes, every relationship is different, and no, the deity or deities or entity or spirit or whatever you're working with is not going to be identical to the textbooks, because even the textbooks, when they regurgitate things, are getting it wrong. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, there was one, what was it that I was reading? I was reading this article on the internet about the Morrigan, and it linked to some book that it was essentially copying and pasting from to make up the bulk of its article, but then its entire opinion contradicted the book and made no sense. And I was like, Okay, so you're going to tell us your own version of the Morrigan creation story? Oh, wait, you are linking to it at the bottom of your blog post. So let's click that and see the cluster. And it's just like, it's regurgitated from the book that the author had written, but it's ever so slightly changed. And it's like, this is how things this is how feuds start. This is how communities fall apart, because somebody takes some piece of information and throws their own spin on it. That's why whenever I share anything about the Morrigan or like working with the Morrigan, it's imperative that you know that it's my experiences and my craft, and that your craft and your experiences will never be the same as mine. So, but please do continue to put me on that pedestal. These are my marigolds that I grew this year, and I'm drying some here. I forgot to pick this pea, and apparently this is what happens to peas when you don't pick them. They turn weird and gross, but there's seeds in here that I can grow next year. To begin, I don't know if you could see this. Like, I don't know what the hell you can see. Like, I quit. Right? So, none of this answers the core question of, like, why don't you work with Lucifer? And the reason that I don't work with Lucifer is because it just... there's nothing that he can give me that that he can do for me that I want him to do for me. There's no reason for me to reach out to him. And sometimes people ask why I don't work with Lucifer, because I talk about working with demons, and I did this series on working with demons, and I must be this like witch who practices evil black magic and all of this other stuff. Like, Christ, ever since I hit 2,000 subscribers, the crazies. I'm constantly in my comment section being like, no, like, no. Like, Ravenways just leaves up these angry Christians that like to troll her, and I'm just like, no, you will not be given any kind of attention on my platform, because I am that kind of privileged. Okay. Now, there was a reason I made this incense, and I can't remember what it was for, but it will be told to me in a dream. You're like, what? What is happening? People are going to tell you why you made an incense in your dream. Yes. Okay? The answer to your question is just yes. Now, we have to do another spell, but we're gonna do it in the next video. You're like, you still haven't answered the question of why you don't work with Lucifer, because it's a mess. And there's nothing, like I said, that he could offer me that I would want. I can get everything I need by working with quote-unquote lesser demons, as some would put it in my comment section. They're like, oh, you work with lesser demons. You work with demons that couldn't even cast the kind of magic that I can cast. I'm sorry, are you shooting fireballs out of your hands? Like, is this an episode of Charmed? Or have you been playing D&D for, like, way too long? Like, Christ, people, like, reality and fiction, right? And there's a lot of fiction with Lucifer, and there's a lot of occult knowledge about Lucifer, and there's a lot of information about contacting Lucifer and working with Lucifer and being a Luciferian witch and all of this other stuff, but it's not for me. Okay, I'm backwoodsy and folksy, and I make a mess all over my altar, and I'm not some ritualistic person. I do things because I need something done. Okay, now if there was something that I needed and Lucifer was an option or the only option, then maybe I would go to him. But I feel like messing with an angel just isn't going to end well, because angels, as I have always said, are dicks with wings, and working with the saints was not fun to begin with. So, right, like, we have learned our lesson, and we're gonna stay in our lane, and we're gonna work with our quote-unquote lesser demons, and we're gonna cast our, I don't know, how did the lady put it? Fake-ass magic. Right? I love you guys. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to talk about this gold sex toy and where we're going to be sticking it.